All right, guys. Hope your Friday is going well. Just got this question confused about MNQ and NQ today. So we swept the highs on MNQ and I caught a short. And I'm just explaining why I actually took the short rather than waiting for NQ to take the high. So this is important to keep in mind. It was a Friday, April 10th. So it's end of the week. We have CPI. Usually the CPI is either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So something to keep in mind that going into the day, we have this volatile ejection and it's the end of the week. So after the move happens in like the first hour or two, it's likely that price isn't going to be so favorable. So jumping to the chart, I have NQ on the left. Let me actually try to make this more clear. NQ and MNQ, we're on 30 sec. Actually, we need to sync the time frames. Hold on now. Time, crosshair, interval. All right, perfect. So now we're on the same time frame. So for here, I like to jump to the 1 minute. Let's just see the news candle play out, and we're gonna mark some very key differences. So on NQ, we have the data high up here, 386. Up here, the data high is technically 366. You can use that level. Um, here, the low is just going to be that candle. This is also a candle to look at. Okay, so now with that in mind, I'm not taking trades until the open, and the reason for that is because I was sleeping. I took a freaking melatonin gummy, and I woke up like right before the open. So let's just wait for price to come to the open and see what happens. Let's actually draw a bar here and here just to show that we have the open. And immediately we're manipulating higher. Now, if you remember how I trade, it's mainly power of three. So waiting for some manipulation leg or very, very big injection of orders, volume, price movement. And then from there, sorry, I'm outside and there's a fucking caterpillar that jumped on me, so I had to quickly get rid of it. But like I was saying, so I trade power of three, and mainly I'm leaning in when we have a manipulation leg at some high or low. So for me, the opening move, I'm likely looking for this to trade up towards our high and or just a general area. And from there, I'm looking for a movement lower back down to equilibrium or 0.5 of the range. So this is technically accumulation for me. This is an accumulation zone. This is where price is fairly balanced. And I'm looking for price to come back and trade to like 0.5 here. And this is generally how I trade. Mean reversion, it's not that complicated. This is just a basic understanding. And if you can clearly see that in the next couple candles, I actually went a little bit too far right here. You can very clearly see that MNQ takes the high and NQ doesn't. And a lot of people are asking me, right, just because MNQ takes the high, does that mean that you should be allowed to enter your shorts? And the short answer is it really depends, right? Ultimately, liquidity sweep is just it's just a confluence, right? You don't necessarily need a liquidity sweep to enter your trade. What this means is you should be, instead of identifying a strict hard level to get touched into, you should be studying the momentum and the volume and kind of looking how are buyers and sellers reacting after a large move up. It could happen that we went higher and the same downward move would have happened and it would have been an A+ trade. But you guys need to understand that you should be studying the volume and momentum and the nature of price action and how buyers and sellers transact rather than looking for just patterns to occur. You know, we see a lot of times that we're waiting for a overnight high or low to get swept. Like you'll be waiting 2, 3 hours. And then we come 20 points off the lows and then we reverse, right? And then you're left with your pants down with trying to chase an entry instead of identifying the manipulation move. Regardless of whether we swept liquidity or not, you should be identifying the manipulation move and then trying to catch the distribution out of it. So for me, I woke up, saw this sweep of the high. I was like, okay, I don't really care that NQ didn't take the high. This right here looks very good. And I'm not necessarily looking for an inversion. I'm just looking to trade the momentum back down to 0.5 of the range. And now this is just a pure one-to-one hard trade. My actual fill was like up here, 350, 355, I think. And I took it down to the lows, like roughly here. And yeah, just to answer your guys' question, liquidity is important, but it is not what institutions use. It is just a general framework for you guys to understand how big players in the market are loading up their orders. The main thing you should be studying is the manipulation moves. All right, let's see how price played out after we had the opening move. It looked like they're setting us up to go lower, and that's exactly what happened, right? We're just chopping around, accumulating short positions here, and the trend is just going lower and lower and lower into the PM session. Going back to what I was saying about liquidity and the power of three and manipulation is that imagine you're working at a institution and you're looking to load up on a big sell position. Naturally, you would want to be pushing the market higher. You would like to see retail jump in with their buys. And from there, the market's pushing up, up, up. And that's when you accumulate your short position. You guys need to focus on this move up. It happens every single day at 8:30, at 9:30, 10, and other macro time frames where you'll see the clock hit zero and volatility jumping in. So at these moments, these manipulation legs, you should not be jumping into your trade right away. You should be waiting for price to reject or stall at some level and then take a calculated bet to the opposing direction. For me in this scenario, the calculated bet is taking shorts and it worked out. Caught like 40, 50 points to roughly the midpoint, and that's all I need. I don't need to see price continuing to dump 300, 400 points, right? It's just a Friday, just stacking base hits, and it's just one calculated bet at a time. So I hope this answers your question regarding the MNQ and NQ discrepancy this morning. It's really the manipulation leg that you should be studying and the nature of buyers and sellers, how they're actually treating the market this morning, what they're setting up to do. So yeah, if you have any questions, make sure you drop some DMs or message me, comment, whatever you want, and peace out. Take care.